And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Rose Ceremony, which is very obviously based on the reality TV show The Bachelor. And whether you like or don't like The Bachelor, I despise it, or whether you think it's good TV or utter filthy, idiotic trash like I do, we all know about the Rose Ceremony, where at the end of the episode, after the Bachelor or Bachelorette has gone around hanging out with many people that they could possibly date, they pretend that they like so very many of them and offer them a rose. And they keep doing that until they get down to the final person. And don't get me started on how dumb the Rose Ceremony is, but it is iconic, and that's what this game is. In this game, you'll be offering other player roses, but sometimes you don't want them to accept the rose, because then they'll give it back to you, and it might be better for you than them. This is a very, very simple bluffing game. Here's how it plays. The game comes with 54 rose cards. Each of these cards is worth a certain number of rose points and has a certain number of thorn. These rose points can go up to 5, and the thorns, I believe, can go up to 4. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a handful of these cards, and on your turn, you'll have 4 of them in your hand. You're simply going to take a card and offer it to someone and say, will you accept this rose? If they say yes, the rose is theirs. 1 thorn, no rose points. If they say no, the rose is yours. Oh no! And if you ever, as you collect roses, they're going to become a bouquet in front of you. So this might be my bouquet here of roses. If your roses ever have thorns that are 5 or more points, they're immediately discarded. That's not very good. However, at the end of your turn, if your roses have a rose value of 5 or more, you can turn, 4 or more, you can turn them in for actual points. In this case, there's 7. That would give me 2 points. Or I could try to push my luck. I don't have enough thorns yet. Maybe here, now I have 10. And if you ever have 10 rose points and you turn in a bouquet, you win the game immediately. So you'll win the game by collecting 5 points, or if you turn in a bouquet that is 10 or more. 4 to 5 rose points is worth 1 point. 6 to 7 is worth 2. 8 to 9 is worth 3. But remember, if at any point your bouquet goes over 5 thorns, it's going to be discarded. You're just going to keep going around the table. You'll draw a card at the end of your turn, and you'll keep offering cards to other players. Eventually, someone's going to win. Component-wise, I mean, this is literally what the game looks like. The roses look differently, obviously. If it's just thorns with no points, it's going to look like a dead rose like that. And other than that, they kind of have these blossoming effects here. In the 5 value rose here, you can see is very, very nice. And they actually have the number of thorns on them too. So that's kind of a cool feature to this. But that is what you're getting. A bunch of cards and a bunch of cardboard hearts. Everything fits very nicely in the box, which has a magnetic clasp. But that's the components. That's it. That's the whole game, right? So you already know from me explaining it whether you like it or not. This is very much a takeoff of the very popular game Cockroach Poker. It's the same style of game. I offer stuff to other people. Now I did a little bit of a matrix here. I dealt out all the cards, looked at the different numbers. It's really a weird mix. I'm not sure how they came up with them. There's a lot of cards which are 2 rose and 0 thorns. That's the number 1 card in the deck, but there's some cards that there's none of. There's like no card, for example, I think with 4 roses and 4 thorns. They're just different. When I put them out, there was holes in it. Then some cards was 1 of, and some cards was 3 or 4 of. I don't know how they came to this conclusion. I guess so that you couldn't memorize it. Either way, it's just pure silliness. I offer you a rose, and then you sit there and go, I accept. And then you decline it, and you're just trying to outbluff each other. And when people are getting close to the 10 roses, which will make them automatically win the game, you're hesitant to offer them anything, right? And then when it's their turn to offer, you're sitting there going, now do they want me to accept this? And you probably will accept it, because to reject it means they might win the game, but then they're probably giving you thorns too. And I'm spending more time right now talking about this game than most people are going to put thought into playing it, because it is pretty simplistic. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the inherent silliness of offering other people roses. I think I prefer this to cockroach poker. It's a nice little quote-unquote filler, a game to fill time in between other ones. And the theme is silly and fun. It can be played with adults and others, and kids just as well. And you can see a live play of this. We've done it on our channel if you want to see how it works. But, you know, sometimes I get this reaction. People say, how can you give a game like this a seal of approval, and you rank this the same as another fairly complex game? Because in life, sometimes a small, simple, little light game hits the spot. And Rose Ceremony did that for me. I'm not going to want to play it all the time. I'm not going to even want to play it that often. But some nights before the game night starts, this is a great one to pull out. Or you're at a table before the meal comes and you want to pull something out. I think Rose Ceremony is a great game for that regard. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Will you accept this game? Dice Tower Judgment approved.